Second batch of classified Biden documents found at his home. By Anthony Zurcher, BBC. U.S. President Joe Biden's aides have found a fresh batch of classified government records at a second location, in a growing political embarrassment for the White House. The first cache was found at a private office in Washington, D.C. that Mr. Biden used after his vice presidency. The matter is under review by the U.S. Department of Justice. It was not yet clear on Wednesday when or where the additional tranche of files was found by Biden aides. The original batch of about 10 documents was discovered in November at the Penn Biden Center, a think tank near the White House, but only came to light this week. Those papers reportedly include U.S. intelligence memos and briefing materials related to Ukraine, Iran, and the United Kingdom. They relate to his time as vice president under President Barack Obama, but it is unclear why they turned up in a private office he started using after that. Access to classified documents is limited by law to people with special authorization, and there are rules about how they are kept and stored. All White House records, including classified ones, are required to be turned over to the U.S. National Archives after an administration's time in office. The White House has not yet commented on the newly discovered batch. However, the find has been confirmed by the BBC's U.S. partner CBS and other U.S. media. During her daily press briefing on Wednesday, Biden Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre declined to answer questions about the first cache of files.
The president acknowledged yesterday that he had been briefed that those documents had been found. When was he briefed that those documents had been found?
So let me just lay this down a little bit because it's just for folks who happen to not be following this. Look, the president addressed this issue yesterday. He addressed it on in Mexico City on a world stage in front of many of you at a press conference with two of our closest neighbors, as you all know, and he said he takes classified documents and information seriously. He was surprised to learn any records had been found there. He doesn't know what was in them. He said this, just repeating what the president has said. As soon as his lawyers realized these documents were there, they did the right thing and immediately turned them over to the archives. As he said, his team is cooperating fully with the review, and we also released a statement from the White House counsel's office, as you know, on Monday, which had information, detailed information about the particular situation. As my colleagues in the council have stated and said to all of you yesterday, this is an ongoing process under the review of the Department of Justice, so we are going to be limited on what we can say here. But as the president told you, as my colleagues have said to many of you, we are committed to doing the right thing, doing this in the right way, and we will provide further details when it's appropriate.
Before you mentioned you want to do this the right way, presumably that means the transparent way. So my question was, when was the president briefed? He said he was briefed. When did that briefing happen?
Again, I'm not going to get into details. I'm not going to get beyond what the president shared yesterday. He laid out what he knew when he knew it. He laid out how important it is. He sees it very seriously when it comes to taking classified documents and information. I'm just not going to, I know you all are going to have a lot of questions on this, but at this time I'm not going to go beyond what the president said yesterday. I'm not going to go beyond what my colleagues from the White House Council shared with many of you as well on Monday, and so I'm just going to leave it there. Want to be prudent here and make sure that it is that my colleagues really truly handle this issue.
The discovery happened just days before the midterm congressional elections. Mr. Biden said on Tuesday he was surprised when he found out and he was cooperating with the Justice Department's review. But the discovery of another batch of classified documents in a second location increases the possibility that this story is not one of isolated carelessness on the part of Joe Biden and his team, but rather something more systemic. It also increases the chances that this is not the last new revelation of document mishandling. It is an iron rule of presidential scandals that bad news dripping out over an extended period of time is much more politically damaging than one-time revelations, however bad they may be. There have now been multiple days of dripping revelations on the document's story, and it's already distracting from the issues Mr. Biden wants to focus, such as dropping inflation levels and the Republican efforts to enact abortion restrictions in the House of Representatives. The controversy also comes as the Democratic president faces scrutiny from a new Republican majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. Now that Democrats no longer have one-party rule in Washington, oversight and accountability are coming, James Comer, the new chairman of the House Oversight Committee, said on Wednesday. The committee is launching inquiries into the president and his family, including a request for the White House to turn over documents and communications related to the classified files. At the moment, the story is an embarrassment for Mr. Biden. If it drags on, it could have a more corrosive effect on his presidency. The White House has said Mr. Biden's lawyers alerted the archives as soon as they recovered the classified materials at the think tank, and the agency retrieved them the next morning. Biden files timeline. January 2009 to January 2017, serves as vice president under Barack Obama. 2018 to 2020. As a private citizen uses a Penn Biden Center office through his University of Pennsylvania connections. November 2, 2022, first batch of classified material found at this office. January 9, 2023, CBS News reports on this discovery. January 11, 2023, NBC News breaks story of second discovery at separate location.
Getting bored? Want to enjoy some relaxing music? Do you need to get updated with all the latest news, but don't have enough time to watch TV for hours? Or do you need to get your praise and worship on? We have your solution to your problem. SAVEDnewsRadio.com got everything you need. Listen to SAVEDnewsRadio.com, filled with praise and worship 24/7, everywhere, in your home, laptop, or tablet, on your phone, in your car, and on Alexa. Install the Save News Radio skill on Alexa, and then just say, "Alexa, launch Save News Radio." The beautiful, uplifting sounds of praise and worship music, ministries, news, and more. SaveNewsRadio.com, created to glorify God and edify the body of Christ.